Starting preview.
Actually, this smoothie
Quality
is just
good.
the Northern Lights.
Yeah, it is. Hey, everybody, welcome to Disc Golf Answerman on YouTube, coronavirus version.
Was that too loud for you?
Is that too loud for you?
Like,
You might want to turn, if that was too loud, you might want to turn Bobby down because it only gets louder.
It only gets louder. So we are here on May 5th, Taco Tuesday. By the way, are you going to get tacos tonight for dinner?
Oh, what? It's Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday.
Yes.
Holy moly.
Sacrilege for not eating tacos. No, I already have plans for tonight for dinner that isn't taco.
I'm going to have some tacos tonight.
No.
But is it Taco Pizza?
Bell. No,
It's not
I'm
Taco
not going
Pizza.
to Taco Bell. Yeah, Taco Pizza.
Shay did
no.
make taco pizza last week, though.
She had tacos
I saw
for
that.
lunch
She's-
too, didn't she?
Huh?
She sent me a
Tacos
pic.
for lunch?
Oh, yeah, she had
Yes,
tacos for lunch
she had
today,
tacos for
too.
lunch, so.
I had pizza. I suck.
Yeah. We'll have to wait till Taco Pizza
You just
Tuesday. Pizza.
you just combine the
Put
two
your
and
hands together.
you've got Taco Pizza.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So we got people rolling in on the YouTubes. How are you doing today, YouTube? Of course, as you can see, we have the loose cannon himself, AJ Risley.
Gosh, everyone calls him that.
Actually, I would argue that no one calls
No,
me
I
that.
literally
They-
just did,
they
and
do
I
now,
am
buddy.
someone. So we're gonna have AJ Risley on with us, so we can get some knowledge from Mr. Risley while he is on Corona leave.
Corona leave.
Corona
yeah.
leave, yeah.
So-
And then we talked earlier, and he's got. When I asked him if he had a disc golf hot take for us, he said, "Yes,
Bam.
ready to go." He always has one ready to go. He says,
AJ, is it good?
"But is it good? Is it silly?"
Honest question.
I'm actually okay either way.
Am I going to be pissed when I hear it?
oh yeah, it's divisive.
Okay. Good.
It's divisive because it's personal,
Okay.
Oh,
Excellent.
but not like personal. Like, okay, Bobby sucks.
Bobby's
Or
so
something.
cool.
No, it's like it has the potential to cut down to one's core.
Gotcha.
hold on.
Yep. Every time.
Yeah, y'all got a phantom loose in the house.
Yeah. It's Shay.
That's rough, man.
It's Shay.
What do you mean?
It's
She
Shay.
vacuuming?
Yeah. No, it's
Oh.
phantom power on the camera.
Oh, okay. That's kind of what I figured, but I mean, it's nice to imagine like ghost-like creatures. Is
Yeah.
that what a phantom is?
I mean, I think so.
All right, that should be better for the. Hopefully the volume's
What are we talking? 24 volt, 48 volt? What kind of phantom power you got rolling in there, Bobby?
48 volts
Oh.
to run the microphone. The microphones don't have power. And
That means they're professional grade.
yeah, you'd think I'd remember every time, but I would not remember every time. All right.
Yeah, well,
That's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Hey, in between now and when we start the podcast, if you guys would do us a favor, like the stream here on YouTube and go ahead and share it on Facebook, that would be fantastic. Get some more viewers in here to talk to AJ and stuff.
Absolutely.
AJ, if you'd like to share it on Facebook, that'd be great too. Think about it.
I done shared it.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Yeah, fine.
fine.
Cool.
Oh, I see yours though as well.
Tyler, we are currently not doing speak pipe questions because we have the computer that normally would play speak pipe questions dedicated to streaming a person's face on it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I literally have. We have 4 devices going. We have Robert's MacBook, my Mac. Robert monitors the YouTube chat. We have AJ on my MacBook, and then we have the iPad, which is running the Sling Studio, which powers everything as far as the interface to go live. And then I have my iPhone with the questions. So I ran out of devices, so we're unable to.
Yeah,
Well, I have my desktop, but I don't feel like lugging that thing over.
heck no, that sounds terrible.
Every time. So yeah, sorry. Unfortunately, Speak Pipe. Maybe we'll just have to do a special
Speak pipe edition.
middle of the week
Yep.
Speak Pipe edition where it's just me and Robert, I guess.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
All right. So guys, again, welcome to the Disc Golf Answer Man on YouTube. We'll start this show as far as recording it for the audio. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend.
AJ, a question from the chat. How come you're not following the stay-at-home order by going to see the Northern Lights, dude?
How do we know that's not his home?
Ah, dang it! This friggin' chat, they got me.
I mean, the realism is shocking.
Is surreal.
Surrealism. Surrealism at your service.
That's you. That's you.
Thank
That
you.
would be your Knight of the Round Table name, Surrealism.
I knight you, sir. Realism.
I feel like that would be my name at the table. Yours would have to be something different, something goofier. We'll think
That's
about it.
good. Yeah. Okay.
What's goofier than realism, you might ask? And it's hard to say.
Sir Fakeism. No.
That's right.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. No.
No,
Oh,
that one's taken. That one's taken.
damn.
Sir Elton John.
Oh,
Also-
he is. Yeah.
Also taken.
He can be rather goofy.
It's true.
He can be. All right, you guys ready?
Let's get it.
All right, we're going to tap the record, get this thing started, and give her a go. Oh, I thought I hit it. Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answerman. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. We are still remote with Robert. He's jealous of my new chair, McCall.
I am not. I am very happy with my chair.
AJ, Northern Lights Risley.
Yeah. You just made two very false statements back to back. I like my chair. AJ is definitely not at the Northern Lights.
I got a new chair today because we're going to be working from home for at least another month, and the chair I had wasn't working out for my back, so I got a new chair. And of course, we have AJ Risley on. You cannot see him on audio, but you can on YouTube. But he has a Zoom background of the Northern Lights, and he's having fun with it. So, how are you doing, AJ?
I'm doing just fine, Bobby.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, it's always nice to talk to you guys and see your faces. I will say though, I just my car. I've got like a little car issue. I think the whole battery side of the hybrid system is done. So I'm going to be putting a pretty penny into that thing real soon.
Is that basically like putting a new engine in a car, replacing all the batteries?
Yeah. Almost, yeah.
Didn't you already have to do that?
Yeah, I just got a replacement engine about 6 weeks ago, and that's doing okay. But the battery pack is
it's unfortunate.
done.
I've got some extra batteries in the store. No,
We will literally send you all the batteries we have.
AAA too.
Yes. No,
Okay, I'm going to need about 500.
We're talking C and D batteries around
Yeah,
here. We got
9
boom boxes to power.
9
boom
volt.
boxes, I say.
Can I get B batteries?
B batteries.
Dimitri Martin, anybody?
Dude, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Well, that's unfortunate,
Besides-
AJ. But besides that,
yeah.
I think-
Besides that, doing just fine.
Doing
I've
good?
Been working out here in the living room.
I know you've been active on the Disc Golf Strong community. That's good.
Yeah.
Staying active.
Been hitting the practice basket in the backyard and going out to the field as well.
Eating
So,
some hot wings and stuff.
Yeah, I mean Eric is.
It didn't
he's
even
just been-
phase him. By the way, we're talking about our hot rounds, our GBO virtual GBO hot rounds. It was Danny versus Anthony, myself versus Robert, and then AJ versus Eric Oakley on our YouTube channel. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. But it didn't even seem like it phased Eric at all.
Yeah, I mean he was.
Was he trying was he trying to like save face or something?
Yeah, I think so.
I was trying to be as tough as I could, for sure.
Why?
Right. Why?
Just to
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
expressive.
To show how strong I was.
Oh yeah, because that's gonna now people are gonna think, wow, he is so strong.
That's exactly what they thought.
respect him
I
more.
read the comments. That's not what the comments said.
I did it for the comments.
No, I just wanted to to prove to myself that I could conquer something and continue to talk like freaking Sean Evans does. Now, having that said, I wanted to feel what it was like to be in his position. Having that said, we only did 3 wings. I think the build up of the wings makes it worse for sure. Like once you've eaten the bomb, the last dab has to feel even that much worse because your mouth is already on fire.
We should have done like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll have to.
We'll never do it again.
I mean, I don't know. I got this bottle of Constrictor. This was the fourth one that we did.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it was insane.
Did it even taste good? The middle one for what was it?
Los Calientes.
Los Calientes. That was actually had a little
tasted good.
sweetness to it, and I like that.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we did. We've had the original, the Verde, and the Rojo, the green and red for our monolingual viewers out there.
All right, cool. Well, that's like I said,
and it was tasty.
Yeah,
it was tasty.
So if you haven't watched that yet, make sure you go back to our YouTube channel and watch that. It was fun to do for sure.
I mean, as far as like reacting and whatnot, yeah. I mean, I like pre-accepted my fate that it was going to hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was going to hurt my tongue and my throat potentially, and I think that kind of like freed me up to, like Bobby said, experience the emotional reaction.
Right. Cool.
And I was happy with how that all went, because I didn't really care if I,
Do you pick up on social cues at all, AJ?
Yeah,
because
let's go to the questions.
You're not so good on the audio cues.
Let's go to the questions.
Sorry. Yeah. And that's our time.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So anyway, as always, guys, send in your disc golf questions, discgolfanswerman.com. Something that I failed to say in past episodes that someone brought up in the chat to let you guys in audio know. Because of our setup here remotely and having guests on here, we are unable to do speak pipes. So I apologize for any speak pipes that are sitting in there. I was talking to Robert. Maybe we'll do a midweek special episode where we'll just go through all the speak pipes. And it'll just be me and Robert, so that way we can get through all those.
That's when you get to hear the real answers.
The real answers. So, but right now we're going to go over the Google Forms because we have plenty of questions here. We are, again, thank you so much, AJ, for joining us. And so we can get your perspective on these questions. Let's get a few questions in. This one's from Michael. He says he needs a mid. Hello from Cape Cod. I throw a flick approach using a harp and love it, but don't have a consistent flick for longer shots. I'm looking for a mid-range with a similar feel and flight as the harp.
Wait, I think we answered this one with Chris.
Yeah, come it.
It's okay. Next one. Oh, the answer would have been the anvil.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
This one's on courses from Hunter. Hey guys, appreciate all you continuing to put content out during these trying times. Robert, I saw you competed in the Madisonville Open in Kentucky last season.
I did. Poorly, I might add.
I live about 25 minutes away from that course and was hoping to come watch a round of you or two, but couldn't get off work in time. I know you didn't compete as well as you had hoped, as you just alluded to.
I did.
But was wondering what you thought about the Madisonville courses. Mar Park is the nicest course in our area, in my opinion.
I only played Mar and City Park, both of which I thought were awesome. Super duper fun. I think, I don't remember which was which now. There's one that has holes that are called par fours that should be called par threes. And that's the one that you have to get lots of twos. I mean, you can two several of the par fours out there with just like a regular tee shot. But I didn't two hardly any holes. I think I twoed maybe 2 holes that day or possibly even 1. I played terrible at that course. But it was a super fun course kind of set around a lake. The other one, man, I don't remember which was which, but a lot of elevation, some more tricky lines through some trees. They were both super fun. I would play them all the time if they were close by me. But that day I just played kind of bad. The first round was okay. I don't remember what I shot, but it was all right.
That happens.
Have you played,
the next 2 were pretty rough.
Have you played out there, AJ?
No.
If you had, what would you think of the courses?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, I'm just trying to include you, man. Sorry.
It's okay. Next, you can answer the next question. They're not all for me.
So this course that you've never played before?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, you've never, and okay, so this, so there's this person, this person that you've never met.
Right.
And you've never seen a picture of them or heard them talk, or no one's ever even described them to you besides telling you that this one person has been to a lake before.
Right.
What do you think of them?
Yeah.
So hole 10, you've never heard of it. I won't tell you the distance or at all how it's shaped. What would you throw?
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? You wanted me to be a part of the question.
Yeah. I am making myself.
I filled up like a minute of.
You're welcome.
All right. This one from Ezra. He says, disc weight for beginning. Yep. No phone calls right now, please. Disc weight for beginner players. I'm a new player, started and got the bug last month right in time for all the courses to close. And I found going through your guys' clips on YouTube to be very helpful. Thank you for all you do for the sport. My question is, how important lightweight discs are for beginners? Would you recommend that beginners use light discs, or do you think it is okay to go straight to 171 to 174 discs? I currently only have one disc that is light, 158, whereas all my other discs are 171 to 174. And I don't like the feel of it. I feel like I have less control on the release of the disc than I do with the rest of my discs. Any advice on approaching light discs? P.S. My max distance is a whopping 275 feet.
Okay. And I don't like it.
And I don't like it. So what are your thoughts on lightweight discs? Well, did you say just?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just started and maxing out at 275. I think there's no shame at all in throwing somewhere in the 160s or even lighter than that. So yeah, I would recommend that. And the reason I would recommend that is because it's kind of like lifting weights. In order to efficiently and effectively, get the most out of your bicep curls, for example, or any other like kind of weight training, you have to be able to have, proper technique and form.
Right.
Same goes with disc golf. So, throwing a 150, 160 class is going to be the equivalent of starting with like the 5-pound dumbbells or the 10-pound dumbbells, and then working your way up to 25 or 30 pounds, which is like the 175 gram driver.
Yeah. And I'd say it's different for different players. Some people really get the hang of lightweight discs early, and it gets them some extra distance and kind of puts more of the flight on the disc that they're expecting to see or that they see other people throw. But some people, it just doesn't click with them. And so I wouldn't say that just because people talk about lightweight beginner discs means that every beginner should start with lightweight discs. But like AJ said, you shouldn't discount them. Some lightweight discs are going to do something for you that a 175 disc will never do for you to start off with. And so it's really about trying what works and finding out what works best for you.
That's for me in like a Raider. Like a heavyweight Raider would not be
not a chance.
But I got a 168 Raider that I absolutely love that thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of beginners and trying out new discs, as the country starts to reopen, make sure you consider checking out Trilogy Challenges. The first ones are going to start May 30th. You can go to trilogychallenge.com and you can see where events have already started. But the big part of Trilogy Challenge is that you can run one. So if you are anxious and ready to get some competitive style disc golf and things are open in your area, consider running a Trilogy Challenge. You get 3 discs, one from DD, one from Latitude 64, and one from Westside Discs. Do you remember what I can't think of on the top of my head.
I know what they are.
Okay.
So the driver is from Latitude 64. It's the SPZ3. It's the driver from a set that we currently have on Amazon. And it's supposed to be kind of like a little more understable Escape, Saint, somewhere in that range. But nice and easy to throw for people who are new to the game, or if you're more experienced, easy hyzer flips or turnovers. Then the mid range is going to be probably the one I'm most excited about, not just because it's ours, but because of the disc that it is the Dynamic Disc Bounty. The Bounty, yes, the Bounty is it's a slightly understable mid range, but just super easy to shape. Throw it straight. Throw it flat and it goes straight. Turn it over just a bit and it's going to hold it. Throw it on hyzer, it's going to hold it. It is a really easy to shape mid-range, and it has a feel that's a little bit different than most of the mid-ranges that we have. It's got a bead on the bottom, kind of shallow. You're going to love it. I love it. AJ's nodding like he loves it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, you're going to love it. And then the putter is, it's not a new mold this time around, but it is a newer plastic. It's a BT Hybrid Crown from Westside Discs. Crown is a kind of a big bead putter, similar to a Judge or something like that. If you're coming over from throwing other brands, you might liken it to an AVR, a Challenger, something like that. So a little bit deeper, not quite as deep as like a Dagger, but nice bead, good controllable putter. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
Yes. So, like I said, beginning May 30th, depending on what's going on in your area, events will start happening. You can use it as a way to raise funds or an event you can go play. So check it out, trilogychallenge.com. Oh, and we're sending. I understand we're starting to send these out to some of the players. So if you're anxious about how they're going to fly, make sure you are following your favorite trilogy player, because they're going to start putting out content to let you know how they fly.
Before we move on, we got a super chat from Dan Woodraska. $20. Thanks so much, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate that, man.
Hey-o.
He said, our club is finally getting sponsors together to have T signs made, and it got me thinking how cool it would be to see Disc Golf Answer Man on a T sign. Has the show ever sponsored a hole? If not, how about one of ours? Well, we have before.
I think we have like 3 of them that we have the signs in our office.
But that doesn't mean that we wouldn't be interested in this one, Dan. So if you wouldn't mind sending that information over to us, we will take it under consideration.
And how do they do that?
I think probably your best person to get in contact with would be Derek, who is our sponsorship manager. You can shoot that over to Derek at dynamicdiscs.com. Or, Dan, you can feel free to message me on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll get back to you there.
All right, next question comes from Dom. Can wardens and other AVR clones... Oh, did you just call warden? It's kind of a backhanded...
First of all,
slap.
chill on that.
Be forehanded without flutters? I can't seem to forehand my putters without a lot of fluttering and turning over and inconsistency. I assume it can be done. I'm sure I've seen pros do it. But I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. I've tried hundreds of different grips, releases, and swings. What am I missing? Are my hands just not the right size? By the way, I've got a Westside anvil, and I use for most forehand approaches, but I'd like a soft, straight flyer that's slower than my EMAC Truth. So seems like I need to be able to forehand my putters.
All right. So I don't think it's a problem with your hands. It is probably something that you're missing, and that is that when you throw discs forehand, there's a lot more wrist action on forehands than there is on backhands. Backhands incorporate a lot bigger muscle groups across the board. Forehands kind of have that late moment of inertia that's kind of just like a snap, like you're popping a whip or something like that, cracking a whip. So when you throw a forehand, it's really, really easy to speed up too fast and try and throw that disc harder than you need to. Like a putter on a forehand without flutter, you just have to be really clean with it. That means that your off-axis torque, which means that you're not matching the angle that you reach back to the angle at your hit point to your angle of follow-through. If those don't match up, you're going to get off-axis torque, which means the disc is going to flutter through the air. The best way to train on something like this is to get a disc like the Latitude 64 Bite or the Beetle, either one of those, or even just like an Aviator, like an Ultimate Catch Frisbee, and work on throwing forehands with those to where you're not snapping your wrist over. If you roll your wrist toward the ground, it's going to be extremely difficult to get a neutral putter to fly without any flutter. But if you learn to kind of throw just as if you're slapping someone in the face, sorry to your friend who you're slapping in the face, or even finishing with your palm to the sky, that's going to help eliminate flutter as much as possible. AJ, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I would say it's a lot of it's like you said, that whipping motion. It's not so much like pushing forward like that, but the follow through is very important. And yeah, I mean, to answer the original question, it's like, yes, it's possible to throw those AVR clones and Wardens without them fluttering out of your hand. I mean, I've done it on little touch for hands with beat up, more understable putters. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's possible, but you're not going to be able to like power it and get 300 feet of distance, without putting in the work. Yeah. It's what we call it, throwing those slower speed discs without the wobble and cleanly, it's what we call touch shots. Mm-hmm. And touch shots require so much training and experience. So you have to lower the expectations so that way you can, rise to the occasion reasonably.
Yeah. And I'd say one more thing about that is that your expectation should be that this is a linear skill. So you are not going to learn to throw a putter without flutter 150 feet before you learn how to throw it 50 feet without flutter. So start by doing those short distances and just toss it. Use as little wrist as you can to get the putter to fly straight. Then start speeding it up just a little. Play catch with your buddies, just throwing a Warden back and forth. And I think you'll be surprised at the results you can achieve that way. But like you said, you're not going to jump to 250 out of the gate. You might start at 100 and then kind of build your way up as you learn that muscle memory, you learn that form.
All right, this next one is from Skip. It's on the EMAC Truth. Quick question. When it comes
you can't flick those.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
It's true.
When it comes to bag theory, I'm decidedly in the various stages of wear of one mold, camp. Aside from utility discs, I bag as few molds as possible. Over the years, I've bounced back and forth between Champion Glow Rock 3s and C-Line Glow MD 3s. I love what Dynamic does for the sport, and I'm always looking to find something from you guys that can go into my bag. That being said, I want to try some EMAC Truths. Which plastic do you think would give me the same combination of wear, resistance, and relative overstability that Innova Discmania, obviously, put that together for you lay people, a Glow Plastic does? Thanks for everything you do.
What do you think, AJ?
Glow Plastic? Yeah, I would say, I feel like the Lucid's a good way to go. Even the Lucid X ones, if you can, I don't know if they're still available, but the Lucid X EMAC Truth, I would say that if someone's asking about like a glow mid-range from Innova or Innovania, actually, Bobby. If someone's asking about glow plastic from those companies, I would imagine they're looking for something a bit more overstable.
Right.
So yeah, I would say a Lucid X EMAC Truth is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty comparable.
For sure. And then there's a new run of those coming out soon too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Fusion and Fusion Burst, at least with the original pre-Mac Truths. Mm-hmm. And I think that plastic has a good like wear cycle, and that translates just fine to the EMAC Truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I've also had the same kind of experience with Fusion Burst Enforcers. You know, I'll put new ones in the bag that I need to be way more consistently overstable and, you know, a little bit more of a meat hook. But then when I had one in my bag for almost like over a year that had gotten worn in pretty well, and it had some early turn on it, so I could like snap it and it would go straight and almost turn a little bit to the right, but I knew it was holding up that reliable fade at the end. So I haven't done too much extensive research with EMAC Truths in Fusion Burst plastic, but if they're anything like the Enforcers, then yeah, I would recommend Fusion Burst.
Yeah. If you want to go ahead and do that, if you want to go ahead and do that right now and then come back to us real quick, if you want to do that research.
Extensive research.
Right.
Yeah. Man, I wish I could. I wish I could just like that.
But my car doesn't have any batteries, so
right.
I have to stay here.
Okay.
Right. So I can't go 88 miles an hour and travel back like
1.1
3 months.
What is it?
1.1.
All I remember is gigawatts.
1.5 gigawatts.
Something like that.
Oh, geez, Doc, that's a lot.
All right, next one comes from Donnie. Hello, guys. I was hoping to get some advice on how to improve my lower body follow-through. I've only been playing for a year, and I noticed that it's a very unnatural movement for me to follow through with my left leg during my throwing motion. I'm not sure when I should be picking my left foot up and swinging it forward while in the process of my throw. Any tips or advice on how to incorporate that into my motion would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully, it'll add some distance to my game. I max out at around 325. Thanks, guys, and stay safe.
Okay, so the first thing you do before you throw is you rotate your hips first, and then that coils up your core so that your shoulders can rotate, and then you follow through all the way. So, you know, if you watch Philo Brathwaite, he's got one of like the best, I don't want to say exaggerated follow throughs, but the best like visual representation of a follow through. You know, he swings around, his left arm goes fully to the right, and it's almost as if the back of his right hand is on his left hip.
Right.
And so when you're all the way followed through like that, right after that, that's kind of like, again, that next coil. You know, it coils up your core again, and then that's when your left leg should be following through forward. So there you go. It goes like hips, shoulders, hips.
Yeah, and I don't think I would put too much emphasis on when you let that left leg come around. It's really a natural extension of following through. So don't worry about the timing of it. Just brace well, follow through, and then your legs are going to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. But it is important. It's a good,
yes.
Following through with your lower body is important to realize and to focus on and to learn about, because it kind of reinforces that you're pushing your weight and your center of gravity forward, and that's going to translate a lot of that energy into the disc eventually. Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, following through is super important.
Nice. Next one is from Lincoln. It's about elevation. I first played disc golf in Houston, Texas, but now I live in Colorado. People say that discs are more overstable in higher elevation. But how much does that actually affect an intermediate to advanced player like myself? I haven't noticed anything, but I also have just been trying to improve my form and haven't thought about elevation as a factor to my thoughts. How significant is the difference in elevation compared to stability? What have you noticed when playing in places like Colorado, AJ?
Well, first off, whenever you say, like, if you say elevation that much, all I can think of is the U2 song. And so once I kind of get that out of my head, then I will say from experience, playing up in like Colorado, Montana, anywhere up in elevation, the discs do react differently. The first thing I usually notice is that they don't glide nearly as much.
Yep.
Because there's a little bit less air holding the disc up. So that's like one of the first things I noticed. And then more overstable. So it's definitely like noticeable and considerable. What was the question?
Does it really affect intermediate to advanced players?
Yeah, I would say it almost affects those players more than it would affect advanced to pro level caliber players, just because of the power that's put behind the disc and the efficiency of that. The less off-axis torque will mean that the disc is spinning through the air cleanly, and so if you're intermediate level and not throwing the disc as hard or efficiently, then it's going to drop a little bit faster. So lighter discs will help, and then the discs will fade a bit quicker, so a little bit understable will help. I remember one time driving from San Diego to Milwaukee, Wisconsin with my dad, and we drove through Colorado and played for like a day or a day and a half straight at a bunch of different courses in Colorado. And our discs and like the main disc I was using at the time was a Sidewinder, because it was the only thing that would actually like fly relatively normal to what I was used to. And then the next day when we drove east out of Colorado down into Kansas, and got down like towards Kansas City, we were throwing our same Sidewinders, and they were just like flipping out of control because we had just gotten so like used to throwing those discs as our main straight distance drivers rather than relying on them to like roll almost. So the difference is totally normal, and I would suggest going more understable and even a little bit lighter if you have.
Nice. Very cool. All right, so something else that we're super excited about that we haven't talked about because of all the coronavirus stuff is disc golf match play. That is kicking off, and actually the dates have been extended for that, but I think it's the same, right? Where it goes off after May, or maybe some places have already been able to start it?
It's already been started. Normally, it would be you have until like the end of the end of May to do local, or the end of April to do local, and then the end of May to do state, and then we have the finale. But because things are so different right now, you have, I think, until the end of July to run local events. So if you've already signed up for one, to run one or to play in one, that doesn't have to be completed until I want to double check these dates, but it's at least the end of June, if not the end of July, which gives you plenty of time to play those local ones and then have things get back to normal so that we can play safely. The thing about disc golf match play at this point is if you're going to play disc golf, that's basically the second safest way that you can play disc golf. Number one is just by playing by yourself, because you're just by yourself. But in match play, you're only there with one other person. If you're practicing social distancing, as we've all kind of become accustomed to at this point, you have extremely minimal chance of exposure at that point. So disc golf match play is something that we're excited about, and that we are excited for people to get into for sure.
And remember, it's something that you can run in your area, and it's your chance to win 18 veteran baskets to be installed in an area near you, or wherever, or I guess an area of your choosing, as a matter of fact. So there's definitely some incentive there to take part. DiscGolfMatchplay.com. Check it out.
Yes.
Next question comes from Michael. Hey, DeGam fam. Oh, no, he says DeGuff fam.
Disc Golf Audio.
Disc Golf Audio, yes. My girlfriend recently lost her last reliable driver, a Champion Valkyrie, on the first... Oh, sorry. I kicked something. I forgot Sebastian's here. We're at the house. And so anyway, sorry, Sebastian. On the first hole of the longest course in the Czech Republic, I handed her one of my Fusion Trespasses, and she proceeded to bomb it all over the course. Of course she did. The trespass.
Yeah.
Her distance used to top out at roughly 300 feet game distance, but she threw several shots over 350 feet that day. You go, girl. She usually gets a nice little flip to flat on the disc, and it rides straight up until it fades. I'm guessing if she really beats one in, she'll get a bit of an S out of it. I was curious what other disc you would recommend to complement that. She currently bags the River and the Rocket Pro Discus after watching Henna Blom. How do you always say her name? Blomroos.
Yeah.
Yep, Blomroos murder those things as her other drivers. So she's bombing. She bombed at, what was it? He said a Fusion Trespass. I would try a Biofusion Trespass, because that'll beat in just a little bit more than the Fusion. And I have a Biofusion Trespass that I think I've lost twice in the water, and it's come back to me. So we're obviously
nice.
We're obviously in love, because when you get rid of something and it comes back. Anyway,
I don't think that's how that.
Is that not?
No.
Oh,
if you love something, let it go. Like that. I don't think that's how that works.
Oh, okay.
If I love first run Classic Wardens. I do not go throw them in the water promptly.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Come on, man.
I treat my discs differently. Apparently.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for not doing that.
Yeah, my man.
I also love my lightweight Raider that I mentioned. Now, I got a 168 and a 169, and I love those two discs. But what would you guys recommend as far as, since she's liking that Fusion Trespass?
I'll tell you the Valkyrie substitute that I like, and then I'll let AJ go, is the Escape. A Fusion Escape or a Lucid Escape is really similar speed-wise, good understability, but still enough stability to be able to be thrown straight. If you're not throwing it super fast, you can throw that really straight and count on a little bit of fade. If you're getting a little bit more speed on it, you can easily have it right over to the right in a controllable way. That's how I've seen a lot of Valkyries fly, so that's what I would recommend.
What about the heavyweight Diamond?
The heavyweight Diamond, it's going to be more understable than
even
a
more
Valkyrie.
understable.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
for
okay,
sure.
What were you going to say, AJ? Were you going to say anything? I'm just.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Vandal is also pretty good. I've been throwing the Boatman a little bit lately, and that's pretty nice as well. So maybe a little bit lighter, but yeah, the Boatman is like a tiny bit slower than a Trespass, but it's got a bit more glide. So, and I do think that it might be a touch more overstable, but it's still a really good, like it's a really good 11-speed driver that's fairly neutral flying.
Yep.
So.
All right, well, Mike's back from the Czech Republic. This time he wants advice for himself. The first one was for his girlfriend. Though I've been working on my form, my max distance is about 300 feet, regardless of what I try, though I don't plan on stopping trying. The thing is that I love throwing the trespass. Nice. I use the bag of Valkyrie, and there are several other discs that are more suitable for my arm speed. But I just love the way the trespass feels in my hand. I have a nice beat-up one that I can S-curve, and the others I bag do flip to flat. Am I hamstringing myself by using that disc so much? I do throw Rivers and Thunderbirds, and I have the utility Underworld and the Firebird as well. But even though I can't get the disc up to speed, I feel the most comfortable with the trespass. Keep it real.
Keep it real.
What do you think, AJ? Is he hamstringing himself? Is he holding himself back because he is only throwing the trespass?
Yeah, first of all, I don't know if I've ever heard of hamstringing.
Yeah, I have.
I've heard of that.
Is that what you said?
Hamstringing.
Like the muscle? Like
yeah.
Muscle?
Like, yeah.
Are you talking about the muscle in your leg or the gerbil?
No, okay, so
that would be hamstring.
Have you honestly not heard this though? I'm trying to figure out if you're joking or not.
You've never heard of hamstring?
Okay.
Hamstringing?
Yeah.
Is it similar to handcuffing? Handcuffed?
It's kind of like that. To be hamstrung is like you're limiting your ability to progress. That's kind of like what the phrase or the word means.
If you string up a ham, it can't do anything.
That's absolutely not where it comes from.
Have you ever seen a piece of ham strung up? It does nothing.
Right. That's
when you put it that way, that could be right. Is he limiting his ability to progress? Go with that definition.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
By just throwing
it even more.
By just throwing a trespass?
Yeah.
Well, just by using that more than other discs because it's the one that feels most comfortable to him.
I don't think so. I don't think that he would be necessarily hamstringing himself that much. Again, to do that though, it's like you have to. It all starts up in your brain with the preconceived expectations and limitations. But because you could throw trespasses for years and years, and as you eventually develop and inevitably develop more power and strength in your disc golf form, you're going to learn how to adapt to throwing just the trespass, which is a little bit of a slightly understable distance driver. So, I mean, just throwing solely trespasses, you'll only learn like a certain set of skills. So I would always say branch out and maybe throw, some enforcers in there, maybe start a little bit lighter, and then move up to max weight when it comes to enforcers. The Raider's pretty good. It's kind of like right in between a trespass and a enforcer, but with a little bit more speed. And again, that Boatman is going to be a little bit slower, so it does take a tiny bit more touch to throw, but it's not as understable. So you can work on some hyzers and hyzer flips and even like some S curves or turnover shots. Yeah. So I don't know.
Michael's actually in the chat right now.
Hey, what's up, Michael from the Czech Republic?
Thanks for joining. I did a lesson with Michael while he was in town a little while ago, and I would say if there's a disc that you're comfortable with, I don't think there's a problem with using that all the time, like having that be your workhorse for sure. But it's only going to benefit you to learn to throw other discs as well. So if you've got like the Underworld that you mentioned, if you can learn to control that, now you've got a new flight in your arsenal that you can use. If you get something like an Explorer, that's going to be quite a bit different than your Trespass. It's not going to go quite as far. It's also not going to flip or move to the right quite as much, but it's going to give you a new flight that you don't have. And so I think learning to throw those different types of discs makes you a better disc golfer, even if you rely on one more than most. Like if I can throw an Explorer, I'm throwing it. Plain and simple, I'm throwing an Explorer because I know I can control it. But that doesn't mean that I should only ever throw that. There's holes that require more distance, like a Raider, that require less distance, like a Warden. But varying that bag just a little is going to help you understand which flights work best for you, and then you can lean on those when it's time to really count on scoring well.
Yeah. Like, for example, I mean, Eric Oakley for a few years, he only threw felons. He would throw enforcers and felons, and then it would go.
EMAC.
The next slowest disc would be EMAC Truth, and it's like that seems like a huge gap in your bag. And you'd ask him about it, and he would say, "Yeah, but I've got like at least 5 felons in my bag at all times that do a bunch of different stuff." And it's like, okay, well, yeah, but then as soon as he started experimenting with the Explorer, it opened up a whole different part of his game.
Right.
So
it's a straight shot that he doesn't have to work so hard to throw. You don't have to beat a felon up to get to an Explorer. You can just throw an Explorer.
Can you just beat
and then
up
another.
What? Can you just beat up Eric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Try feeding him some spicy wings.
I mean, then you're done.
But
oh yes, go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, like another part of that is if you can just throw one mold, but if you're going to do that, work in some different plastics, try some different shot shapes. But also, I think something that is kind of overlooked sometimes is experiment with different levels of power. Experiment with go out to the field. A lot of what I've been doing recently is going out to the field, and I'll pick a distance that I'm comfortable. Like, for example, I'm comfortable hitting this distance with a mid-range thrown at 80 to 90% power. So I'm going to pick like 300 feet, and I'm going to pick out a set of like 10 discs, start with some Explorers and then Mavericks and then my mid-ranges, but keep that target distance consistent. And so now I'm kind of introducing into my arsenal throwing Explorers and Mavericks with, say, like 50 to 70% power, and then throwing 80 to 90% power mid-ranges right after that.
Yeah,
so I'm like learning, I'm challenging myself and trying to learn a different way to use a bunch of different discs.
Sure thing.
So
Michael in the chat dropped a super chat of 100 Czech kroner. Thank you, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
He said, I do throw the River and Thunderbird regularly as well. I just meant that the Trespass is too much disc for my arm. So I still don't think that's necessarily bad, especially if you know what it's going to do, right? If you've got a disc that, if you were throwing an Enforcer and you're only ever going to get it to go, 220, 240 or whatever, then yeah, I would say you need to use a different disc other than that. But if you're comfortable with what it can do for you and it makes you confident when you have it in your hand, that makes all the difference in the world. Like, I've had a disc that I love the flight of, but I hated how it felt. And every time I took it out of my bag, I was like, this isn't going to do what I want it to do. So I took it out. Like, I just can't, like, I know the flight is good, but if it feels bad, you just don't have confidence in it. So I think
ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, I think the reverse is true. If a disc feels good to you, you are more likely to throw it how you intend to throw it. That's what I think.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for the 100. What is it?
Czech kroner.
Czech kroner. That's like $10,000. So we're
$10,000.
Is it?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just teasing. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it very much. Next one is from Colton. He says, I hear you guys recommend the EMAC Truth often, so I am thinking about purchasing one.
Nice.
I have an Innovastar lying and was wondering how they compare. Also, what plastic would you recommend? I can throw close to 275, and I am improving thanks to the Physics of Flight videos. Thanks for keeping spirits high during these trying times. Hi.
Hi.
Are you familiar with the Innovastar Lion, AJ?
Slightly, like a little bit familiar. Never thrown one, but yeah, it's pretty straight flyer though, with a bit of glide. I'm pretty sure. So as far as like a plastic for an EMAC Truth to compare, I mean, maybe Biofusion. Again, I mean, that fusion burst is pretty nice. That's usually one of my go-to recommendations for the plastic.
Yeah.
But maybe if you're trying to get like a really, comparable flight to a Lion, then I would say try a little bit lighter. Try like 170 to 172.
Nice.
And yeah, try that. And really, like, I think the reasons why people tend to like go towards max weight is because they want that consistent flight, and they want they want the disc to fly without any wobble or anything. But everybody's capable of throwing a 170 EMAC Truth straight and with fade. It's possible. It is possible, but it's what we call touch. And I was just telling Eric the other day, like he said, "Oh man, it was cool how you intentionally sawed off that drive." And I thought about it for a second, and I looked at it and I said,
"That's what touches."
I was like, "Yeah, that's what we in the biz call touch."
Yeah,
that's like by definition, like in Webster's dictionary, under disc golf, touch is technically intentionally sawing off.
Yeah,
it's not actually in Webster's dictionary, but
it's true. But it might be next time that they come out with an edition
next to the rewrite.
Yeah. Doc Zen came in with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Doc. He said, "Nice to see Tina and Eric's oldest son on the show." Congratulations, AJ. That's you. He was talking about you.
Did it. Yeah, I'm actually in this alternate dimension where like spatially, I share a lot in common with you guys, but time is shrunk.
Yeah.
So I age a lot quicker.
Sure.
So while to you guys and to Doc, I was born only like 3 years after Eric and Tina.
Right.
In my dimension, in my reality that I'm from, they birthed me, and I'm just catching up. And so I will, by the time this whole COVID thing is done, I will have passed them age-wise.
Cool. Yeah, I'm nodding like I understand. I don't. Continue. Bobby definitely doesn't. He wasn't even nodding. So,
all right, this one is from Magic Mike.
Wow. So I didn't know.
Took some time off from his dancing career to come.
COVID's tough, man.
Yeah. This is about playoffs. Hi, you awesome DeGam crew and McCall.
Hateful Magic Mike.
Not on the crew. If there's a playoff between two persons after the tournament round is done, don't you need one more on the card to be able to enforce rule calling, etc.? Greetings from Sweden.
Yeah, you do need an official you need a certified official there to make sure everything runs smoothly. Yeah. It doesn't have to be someone who's actually playing, but someone does have to watch.
So is that something that you can call on somebody or something? Like I've been to like B tiers where they're like two people in the advance come up and they're like, we're tied, and the TD will just say, all right, go play off holes 1 through 5. They walk away and no one's really going to go watch. Are you telling me that they're doing something illegal?
Well, yes and no. I mean, yes, it's illegal because technically you do need a certified official there to, monitor the situation and keep score. But think about why do we prohibit 2-person cards in regular tournament play? It's because you have more than 2 people in the entire field. So when it's just a sudden death playoff between those 2 people, they're not gonna cheat amongst themselves, and even if they do, it wouldn't affect anybody else because everybody else is done playing technically.
So what are your thoughts? Or you got something on that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, what are your thoughts, AJ? That brought up something that has always it's been a thing for me. So it's like. Basically, what it comes down to is the pros, and of course, it's cash. The payout is cash, and you've got 2 people that are tied, and they discuss splitting the prize, first place and second place, right? So you're guaranteed if you get second place, you'll get more money, right?
Than you would have.
Right. Right. So if you split first and second prize, and let's say the outcome is that you, AJ, get second place. You now you get more cash than had you taken second place's money, right?
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah.
So
that's how it works.
So first place
if you split
first and second,
split, right?
So first place gets less money.
Yeah, less, but it was guaranteed.
Correct. I sometimes would think the competitive spirit or the competitiveness would say, no, I want to have all the cash. Is that a bad way to go about it?
it's like, let's say that first and like the prize money for first and second combined is $3, and you and Bobby, you and I tie.
Right.
It's like we can either say we're going to split the $3 and each get $1.50,
right,
and go buy a taco and a juice box, or we can do our sudden death playoff. One taco and a juice box. This is like 19
from Quick Trip or something.
I don't know. Sorry, I should have stopped at the $3.
Right.
But let's say, yeah, we could either split and get $1.50 each,
right,
or we could, then play off, and best case scenario, I get $2 and you get $1. Worst case scenario, for me, I get $1 and you get $2. Yeah,
right. So literally what I said, just re-explained with dollar bills.
Right.
I've done that plenty of times.
I want your opinion on it after Robert talked.
My opinion.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Okay.
My opinion is, if I'm comfortable with taking the second place payout, then sure, then I will risk it and go for first place. Yeah, that's fine. But if I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Let us know in the YouTube chat. While Robert gets his opinion in the YouTube chat, let us know what would you do if you were in that position? Is it?
And I'll think about it a tiny bit more.
Okay, sure. And then, I've done this plenty of times in playoffs, especially. I think I like it, especially when I know the person who I'm in a playoff with. We're friends. We both battled it out. Maybe someone got like a tough break or something like that. But whatever the case is, I really enjoy splitting, especially when we're not talking about a huge amount of money. Like if it's a small amount of money or a very large amount of money, I'm in favor of splitting. If it's somewhere in the middle where it's just like, I don't know, an extra $50 or something like that, whatever. I don't mind splitting. It doesn't matter to me that much either way, because if I get first, I would have had $50 more, but now I'm net negative 25. Okay. Right. But I could have been down 50 from what I was before if I didn't split.
So the value.
Yes. But then I think it's also true at the highest end of the spectrum. Like when we went to King of the Canyons last year, I got into a 3-way playoff. First place was $2,500. Second was $2,000. Third place was around $1,600. So no matter what, you're walking away with $1,600 in this playoff. But that's a huge swing between third and first place. So I got with the guys who were there. We decided to split together, and we each got like $2,050. We played off for the trophy. I ended up losing because Kyle jammed this death putt like a champion. Like it was incredible. It was an awesome putt. He got the title. It was super cool for him. I was really excited for him, but we left with the same amount of money, and that was great for me.
Well, yeah, great for you, but wonder if Kyle had thought, man, I could have had an extra $500.
Sure, but think about like, all right,
$500 is a good amount of money.
Sure, but now you're guaranteed. You could have been plus 500, or you could have guaranteed. If you got third, you could have been negative 900.
Sure, I get that.
So it's just about playing that little bit of difference.
Obviously, playing the odds or risk, taking the risk. I just was curious your thoughts on that, AJ.
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to have you on from now on so you can mime all our answers to questions.
I was thinking.
With your face?
That's how, right. Yeah. That's how I think. I would say like usually there's two situations. If it's a first place sudden death playoff, then I would say, let's not split. Let's play for second place money and first place money, and to accept my fate before we end up playing. I'm telling myself, okay, I'm getting at least X number of dollars, which is the second place earnings. So that way, kind of like what Robert said, if I win and I get first place, then I'm getting X plus Y. But I'm not trying to save myself from getting, I'm not expecting that I'll get first place money, aka now it's Z, and losing and getting Z minus Q. Does that make sense?
No, that literally does not make 1 ounce of sense, AJ.
Okay, first of all, you repeated what I said, but with numbers. Now you just did it algebraically. So literally, all you're doing is telling me what it is. I want to know your opinion. What are your thoughts?
Do you split or not?
Yes. Would you?
30 seconds.
That's what I said. If we're splitting, if we're doing a sudden death playoff for first and second, I want to play the playoff and not split. But the alternative is if we're going to play like a skins match, and in that case, I'm down to just split because it's a much different scenario, and I will have a much different mindset. So I don't want the different kind of scenario where it's like, oh, I'm not worried about, I'm skins match. I'm going to run every single putt. I'm not trying to protect my winnings from someone who's trying to jam 100-foot death putts when in regular competition they would lay it up all the time.
I was hoping you'd start explaining it via dance
or with animals this time.
Right? Yeah,
as the variables
in origami.
Well, I mean, come on.
I'm just messing with you, AJ.
AJ, some people in the chat are hitting you with the Billy Madison quote, where they're in that quiz and the announcer says, "And we are all dumber for having heard it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul." That's what they're saying. I didn't say it. That's just what the chat's saying.
Okay, well, the chat must. I'm just thinking about when in 7th grade you're taking algebra and the teacher says you're going to use this someday. It's like, here you go.
Here it is.
Here you
on
go.
A podcast about disc golf.
All
right, guys.
On that note, let's never talk about this again.
Yeah.
Right. So I sat up front in math class. Sue me,
please.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for Disc Golf Answer Man. Thank you so much, AJ Risley, for joining us here on the show and helping us.
Yeah, join us next week for Disc Golf Algebra Man.
No, geometry. Next week is geometry.
Just geometry,
which is also going to be very crucial to your disc golf game.
Yes.
What do you know?
So, all right. Well, hang on, YouTubers, for our disc golf hot take, and then for our audio listeners, we'll see you next time.
Don't they know that the A stands for algebra?
Yeah, disc golf algebra, man.
I've got an Algebra Jones.
Dude, sick Algebra Jones. Tristan Tanner just joined the chat. He said, I would personally just choose to win and not play off.
Oh, dang.
There you go.
Respect.
But if we all did that, then we would all be
then everyone would be tied.
Right.
Yeah, someone said
we would all perpetually being playing off.
Someone said, insert Jim Mora quote here. Playoffs.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's like that was my way of describing how to manage expectations.
I understand what you're saying. It just takes a long time to get there with a lot. Like if you had a chalkboard in front of you and you could say X, Y, Z, Q, that's much easier than verbalizing X, Y, Z.
Because when with each passing word that I say, people are just counting the hairs in my mustache. So it's like it's very distracting. I understand. If
you want to get Dan
Anthony
on here.
Yeah. All right, hang tight, AJ.
I'm hanging so tight right now.
Yeah, you get the link. You go right here.
If you guys are in the chat, tell us whether you thought AJ's algebra was legit or not. Probably not, but let us know what you think.
It makes sense. Would you rather have X plus Y or Z minus Q?
Oh, yeah, of course.
First place or second place? And that's the thing is like one has a positive and one has a negative. And so when you translate that to like internal expectations, which one is going to which one's going to lead to the most ideal result?
Well, yeah. Okay. But think about like, all right. So when I chose to split with the two guys at King of the Canyons, based on how we had played, we had shot at that point 3 rounds and a final 9, and our scores were identical. Right. So at that point, it's way easier for me to say, you know what, guys, let's split because we have battled our butts off all weekend. Tough breaks, great shots. Like, let's just go ahead and split so that all of us walk away with a good chunk of money. Right. I could have won $500 more. Ultimately, I would have gotten, I guess, second place, a tied for second or whatever it was. I don't know. So ultimately, I would have made about the same. I had a chance to win 500 more, but if I got third, let's say I shanked the first shot, I walk away with 900 less than I could have gotten before. For me, it's just way easier to say, let's each take 2025, 2050, whatever it is. And then we just get to put on a show for the playoff. That's what I like the most.
Exactly.
Like, we were all loose. We all had a good time. Kyle hit that super sick putt. And it was great. Like, and I missed I had a 25, 28 footer after him. I hit off the top and I was like, man, I'm sad. But also I got $2,000. Like, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Like, it was great.
What I say after I miss a putt, just, man, I'm sad.
Yeah.
Man, so,
but also give me this $2,000. Thank you for running this event. I didn't get the sick throne that came with it though. The trophy was like, it was a deck chair, but that was like, it had King of the Canyons, like a plaque on there. It was sick. I was a little sad not to get that, but I was less sad when he handed me $2,100 bills.
All right. We are set up. We have Anthony and Danny joining us for the Disc Golf Hot Takes.
Boys.
So we can get more opinions.
And see, okay, last thing about the whole like splitting and all that jazz is that these are like, a lot of these are hypothetical situations that we're talking about.
Sure.
So, like, let's imagine a hypothetical situation where, you're about to do a playoff with your best bud, or the person that you're going to be like driving with for the next 10 hours.
Yep.
Do you really want to put yourself in a situation where you just like pound that ass and take all their money?
Okay.
Probably not.
It's a family friendly show, by the way. So
this is not Disc Golf Valley rated R.
Sorry. Okay. But now imagine now another hypothetical where you just tied with your mortal enemy.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
we're never splitting.
100%.
We're not splitting. We are playing. And if I lose, like, I'm still going to let you know that was terrible.
Coming for those knees afterwards.
Yeah. You suck.
Sweep the leg.
That's what happened whenever Bobby and I go play disc golf and we tie.
Yes.
We're not splitting the tacos today, Bobby.
Right.
I miss
Torchies.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay.
That freaking guy who posted earlier.
I know. Posted something with Torchies on there. Oh, yeah. He said DFW Torchies is on DoorDash or something like that.
Yeah.
And I said, tell me when they have an 8-hour radius for delivery.
Interesting.
Even Sebastian's a little ticked off.
Okay. Hey, let's agree to something before we go live.
Okay. Yes.
AJ.
Wait, we're live.
But before we record. Yeah, there you go. AJ.
Yeah.
If it's a stupid...
If this is a stupid disc golf hot take and like we actually can't argue it,
I will unzoom you.
We're moving on to a different disc golf hot take. These are the facts.
Okay. Like what? Can you give me one that's stupid? Like,
yes, I can give you an example.
Like, pine trees are disc magnets.
Early on in the show, early on in the show, Bobby asked this hot take. He said, if animals could play disc golf, which animal would be the best?
Oh my God.
Miserable hot take. Okay.
It's not even a hot take. It's just a question.
Yes, exactly.
We were testing different formats.
I want to hear. We weren't.
Bobby, is that?
I got him. I got him.
Bobby,
spit that out.
Is that one of the hot takes that I gave you?
Oh, brother.
Is that one that I suggested?
I think it was like it was go time, and I was I need some ideas for.
How dare you not take the heat?
No, yeah, it was a different one. It was a different.
No, I definitely didn't come up with that.
Okay, lowest rated animal disc golfer, lowest rated snake. Boom.
Oh, they were actually
yeah, easy.
Who did we say? We said squid.
It's a close race between snake and walrus.
No, I said a gorilla.
Yeah, any primate is the correct answer.
Primates.
Yeah, so then he says no primates. Okay, well this just got way worse. Okay.
Fish only.
No,
so having that said,
really good.
Having that said,
at practicing.
AJ, what I'm saying right now, I am the judge in this situation. Self-appointed, by the way.
Okay.
Lots of power.
The chat will tear you up too.
Well, they're going to do that regardless.
That's true.
They hate all hot takes.
But if
Could be the best.
but if the judge looks mercifully upon you, then we will continue with the hot take.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
We're gonna record. We're gonna do intro and everything for the audio.
It's gonna be rough, dude.
All right, hang tight. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disc Golf Hot Takes. We have special guests AJ Risley on with us, and of course, we have Danny and Anthony to help argue.
Nice.
We all like to argue. So,
discuss.
With AJ Risley being our guest, AJ, the floor is yours. Prior to recording, he has been warned that we will judge his hot take.
Yeah, judges in session.
With that,
no animal-related hot takes.
With that, AJ, what say you?
Okay, disc golf hot take. Oh, man. Okay. There is no such thing as bad luck, only bad shots.
Hot take accepted. Okay, talk about that for a second.
Yes, talk about it.
I will say there is such a thing as good luck in disc golf.
Whoa. Okay.
No,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go for it. Okay.
AJ has the floor.
Yes.
But bad luck does not actually exist. It is a construct of the mind. The only thing that exists
here.
Right. The only thing that exists is a bad shot. Oh, you hit a tree 300 feet down the fairway? Not unlucky. You as the thrower of the disc have the power to control whether or not the disc hits that tree or not. Oh, you cut through the chains on a Mach 3, Robert?
No. That wasn't for you. That wasn't for you. You're good. You're good.
But okay, so you cut through the chains on a Mach 3, that's not bad luck. That's a bad putt. You have the disc golfer, the thrower of the disc, you have the power to control whether or not your disc cuts through the chains.
All right.
You can do it.
You had me going with bad luck, but then when you said there's no such thing as bad luck, but there's such thing as good luck. As with anything, there is the yin and the yang. Now,
the duality of man.
Right. Don't think that's my philosophy of the yin and yang. But there is the good and the bad. So you can't have one or the other.
Right. And so I would say,
right. Then you already backed off.
You changed his mind, Bobby.
Right.
It's over.
That's correct.
AJ,
see you guys next episode.
Literally at the beginning, you said there is no bad luck, but there is good luck. You can't have one of the. You have to have both. You can't have.
Well,
No, I'm with AJ on this.
No, you had.
Okay.
Here's the way.
But Bobby, that's the thing is like you can. If you can throw your disc, it can kick off a tree in a good way, but I guess really what it comes down to is what you're blaming your bad result on.
Correct. Okay, I see what you're saying, but to say that there is no bad luck, that you just shot a bad shot, and then to say there is good. Wait, what did you say? There is.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no bad luck. There's no such thing as bad luck. Almost what I'm hearing you say is there's no such thing as bad luck. There's only performance and good luck. And I think that's not right. Your performance causes things to happen to where there's not good luck. In other words, when I think of good luck, I'm thinking of some outside force that takes what you've done incorrectly or whatever and makes it turn to be good. Well,
sure.
You can't.
Can I try and explain it?
Yeah, go, Danny.
So let's say there's a group of trees that's off to the right of the fairway, and you're not trying to throw at the group of trees. Okay, the fairway is to the left of this group of trees. AJ throws his shot straight into the group of trees. That's a bad shot. Okay?
Right.
But it has good luck, and it kicks just the right tree to go land underneath the basket instead. That's good luck. He had a bad shot, but it was good luck. Say, I'm coming after AJ, and I throw the exact same shot straight at the group of trees, and mine gets smacked down and then rolls and falls off a cliff OB. That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, because a bad shot initiated that.
Yep.
Or you throw it at the group of trees.
Who said that was supposed to happen? Who said because you hit a tree, it is now, from now on, it will be a terrible outcome? Who said that?
Because you threw it at the trees.
So what?
Okay,
that dictates whether the outcome is favorable or unfavorable?
Statistically. Go ahead.
See, okay, this is all like, there's a lot of language, and the words that you use have a lot of bearing on the eventual message. So
right.
So let's think about this. The nouns that we're using here are luck and shot. And then also I'm going to introduce throw. Now what Danny said was I had a bad throw, but then it turned into a good shot. A throw, a shot is a throw with a result.
Yeah, the result of a throw.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there, that should hopefully lay the, set the.
So what happens if, going with Danny's example, you throw it at the trees, AJ gets a good break, cuts through the trees, parked. Danny gets an expected break, hits a tree, rolls down the cliff. What if I throw the perfect shot or the perfect line? We'll say gust of wind comes and blows it into the trees. You're talking about both of you had a bad throw, different results. What happens if I have a good throw and a good result? Okay, that's expected. What happens if I have a good throw and a bad result? How is that not bad luck?
Okay, well, but you're talking about a gust of wind. That's like
Sure, something out of my control. A bird flies and hits my disc, or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then I think
That's not bad luck.
We would consider those. We would consider that an act of God, and that would be
God put the trees there just the same as he put the birds there.
The rain falls on the righteous and the wicked. Okay, it doesn't discriminate. Okay,
and that's the thing. Hopefully, you have good enough insurance that covers your house from tornadoes and other acts of
We're
God.
talking about throwing a disc, not a hurricane.
All right, here it is.
I'm not going to play disc golf in a hurricane.
And then I will counter your gust of wind, because you guys live in Emporia, Kansas. Do you really throw your discs and you're just completely surprised when they flip a little bit more because there's wind? No.
Yes,
Wind doesn't-
unrealistic expectations.
You have not played
No,
disc
there
golf
are
with me
times
enough
where
times,
you
AJ.
throw a disc and it goes up and down, and you're like, I did not expect that to go up and down like that. It gets a
Right, but-
pocket of wind.
But you do expect that it's possible.
All right,
Right?
here it is.
If you
there's-
throw a good shot and it hits a tree, it wasn't a good shot.
Okay, no.
Anthony said if I throw the perfect line, it wasn't the perfect line.
Okay.
But he did. But
He said it hit a bird, not a tree.
But
Perfect line and then a gust of wind.
All right,
So
here-
that's
so
right,
my
he did say
throw,
gust of wind.
AJ said throw and shot aren't the same thing. So if I throw it properly, as you're supposed to do, hit the gap, or it's online to hit the gap, and then a gust of wind. That's not me. I didn't throw it poorly. I threw it properly. I threw it where it's supposed to go. The shot wasn't good. The shot is the result.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you
Okay.
got,
All
Robert?
right. Here it is.
No, that's a fair point. I mean that's a tough one to argue. But go ahead, Rob.
Okay, here it is. This is what we're arguing about. We're arguing about probabilities. Okay, so you're playing in the woods, and this seems to specifically be the case in the woods because there are so many trees and so many different variables surrounding them. Okay.
Definitely amplified in the woods.
Yes. Okay. So we're talking probabilities. If I throw a good throw, which we would define as flying in between the trees, not headed for any trees, and somehow the result of that throw isn't what it looked like it was going to be, whether it's a wind gust or whether this is the worst one that I can think of, which makes me say that there has to be bad luck, is if there's like just a little tree root on the ground by the basket that you hit 1 foot from the basket. Normally it just skips and stays 5 feet, but instead it hits that root and rolls 60 feet away. You've had it happen to you. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me plenty of times, right? That's the reason that I cannot say there isn't bad luck, because that's a low probability result for a good throw. When something is a low probability, we'd be like, wow, that's unlucky. That's what people say. Like, you had an unfortunate turn of probability against you in that situation. Now, when a bad throw gets a good result, that's also a low probability, but that's what we call luck because it's unexpected, right? So if you throw a bad throw, it hits a tree and stays in the woods, that's a high probability of what should have happened. That was deserved. So either side on the low probability of the result is either lucky or unlucky. That's why I think both have to exist in order for this to be any sort of argument. I will go with you to say that if you throw a shot and it hits a tree halfway down the fairway, just nicks a tree, and you say that's unlucky, I disagree. It was a bad throw. It should have been farther to the left of that tree or farther to the right. But consider this for a second. Sometimes when you're playing in the woods, you throw a shot that is 6 inches offline just to the right, and that 6 inches makes it hit a tree and rocket across the fairway left. Whereas if you had missed by 1.5 feet instead of 6 inches. Now you miss that tree entirely, go through all the woods, and get to the basket. It's a low probability result for what was almost an identical shot. So probabilities are what's at play here. The low probabilities on either side are either lucky or unlucky. They both have to exist.
Right.
Case closed.
How about
Well,
There can be no arguments made against this.
The judge has spoken.
The judge is in session. Okay, go ahead.
But see, real quick, you said luck. You said that's luck or whatnot. But my initial point was we have good luck and bad luck. That's the thing is
Your initial point was there's no bad luck.
I'm saying that either side that's on the
in
low.
our discussion we have good luck and bad luck, not in the when we're playing disc golf.
No. See, I disagree. I disagree because if you have a low probability result based on the throw, that's either lucky or unlucky, right? If you throw it into the woods and it kicks off and gets close to the basket, that's lucky. It's a low probability result. Same thing that happens if you absolutely beam it at the basket, headed straight for the basket, hits the pole on the ground, stands up and rolls away. That's a very low probability result for a high quality shot. Unlucky.
Can you say there's no such thing as luck?
No.
here's
I think it's how you define luck.
Sure.
I think bad luck is far less prevalent than people would imply on the course.
Okay, I can go with this.
Yeah.
Super.
This I can go with. When you say, I just got so unlucky. I just missed by 1 inch and it shot into you missed by, you said it just now. You missed by 1 inch. I agree with you, Danny. I'm good with that.
So when I make this argument, and the reason I started thinking of this argument and this hot take, it was years ago. And it was because you think about, okay, what can you learn from? You can, I make this argument because you can only learn from bad shots. So if you continually blame bad shots on bad luck, then you're just going to keep doing the same thing, and you're never going to accept the blame, and then in turn learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
So if you keep throwing that shot on that hole, and you either hit the pole and roll away because it had so much energy coming in, or you skip 50 feet long, and whatnot, and you just keep doing it and saying like, okay, well, I'm just getting unlucky over and over.
Right.
Well, then you're never going to get better.
Yeah. I think
there's like a lesson behind this hot take.
I'm with you 100% on that, is that you need to be able to recognize if a shot truly was unlucky, like if it was a low probability result, then you can say, wow, I got unlucky, or wow, I got lucky. But if you take those and don't change anything, that's on you. Now, when you're talking to card mates on the course, if you're trying to be encouraging and say they threw not a great shot, misses by a few inches and kicks across the fairway and they're having a bad day, and you're trying to encourage them, you say, unlucky, man. I don't actually think that was unlucky. I'm just trying to make you feel better.
He thinks you suck.
No, I mean, everybody happens. That happens to everybody.
Yeah.
But that's just how it is.
Well, These are the facts. I'm with you 97%.
Well, I'm with me 100%. And the judge is in session.
No more math.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Where's my gavel?
Right,
I demand it.
All right, thank you. Well, AJ, you have been awarded the good disc golf hot take, so wear it proudly. Wow. I'm not sure what it'll be, but you have to wear
Honestly,
it proudly.
one of the better ones we've had.
That was a really
100%. Way better than Eric's.
Hit your T-pad.
Oh, my God.
Awesome.
Like just play on the tee pad that's there.
Just tee next to the pad, Eric.
And I would, and so like,
just pee next to the tad, or pee. Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Bobby, family friendly show here. Come on.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in for the disc golf hot take. We will see you next week. We'll post this on our dynamic disc. No, the what's this show called?
Disc golf audio.
Disc golf. The Facebook group. We'll get your all.
Disc golf algebra man.
All right, it's our first episode.
We're out of here. See ya.
AJ, have you listened to
AJ? We're still live on YouTube, just in case.
Yes.
Okay.
The rated PG version.
Yes.
Wow, who's censoring AJ? Sounds so.
No joke.
That's what, Robert?
Disregard my comment. I'll save it for off air.
Oh.
That's all.
Okay. I was hoping
we got any questions in the YouTube chat for AJ while we have him online?
See, I was hoping that Anthony was going to come in. Happy birthday, by the way. I was hoping that Anthony was going to come in and say, okay, AJ throws his shot straight into the trees and it kicks towards the basket. Danny throws his shot straight into the trees. It kicks down a chasm. And then I step up and I just gap it right down the middle of the fairway and it's parked.
That's good.
There you go. That's the thing that is, you have to that has to be part of the equation as well. See, disc golf algebra, man, equations. It's like
see equations.
But really, it's like this whole thing started a long time ago when I was touring with my buddy Max Nichols.
Yeah,
and after like a few weeks of traveling with him and playing numerous practice rounds, I got sick and tired of him always saying bad luck, bad luck, bad luck, when things that were happening weren't really bad luck. It was just like, dude, you can throw a better line. I know you can do it. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing about like, I'm going to tell my worst enemy that they got unlucky. I'm going to tell them that they got unlucky way before I tell my best friend that they got unlucky.
Sure.
Because that's the thing is like, if I tell my worst enemy, oh dude, that was so unlucky that you freaking threw it into the middle of the lake and it didn't skip 100 feet off the water next to the basket. Dude, that was so unlucky. You should keep trying that. But if it's my best friend, I'm going to say, dude, what the heck were you thinking? Frick, heck, I'm learning. What the heck were you thinking? Why would you throw, why would you throw right into that gaggle of geese?
I don't want to get into a long discussion about this, but I am curious about your thoughts on this, AJ, now that you said that, and also Danny and Anthony and Bobby Sun.
It's all about accepting failure. It's all about accepting failure.
Only because you don't play competitive disc golf as much as these guys. That's why I say that.
How do you know I don't have an inner competitor?
I think you probably do, but
it doesn't come out very often.
Bobby plays very competitively on his own time and exclusively left-handed.
It just refuses to play tournaments.
I play my right hand against my left hand on disc golf.
Right hand always wins. Yes. Okay. On that note, AJ, and you guys, Danny and Anthony, are you more likely to talk to someone like that on your card? Or, so you're playing on a card with your friends, or a buddy of yours, a touring friend of yours, and let's say it was Max back in the day, and he throws a bad shot into the lake. You're not going to say unlucky to him at that point, but you would say it to someone who you don't want to succeed. Like maybe you guys get on each other's nerves or whatever. How do you communicate with people on your card? Is it pretty uniform across the board? Is it different for people who you're really close with? What is it? What is it for you, AJ? Go for it.
It usually it just reflects it reflects the energy that they're putting out. So if someone shanks and hits a tree and whatnot, and they are kind of like looking down, and are looking, they're feeling down.
Sure.
Then sure, I will console them because they're not, they know that they messed up.
Right.
But if someone shanks and hits, or if someone throws and then hits a tree way down there, and they're like getting pissed off that something out of their control affected their shot, and they're blaming something out of their control, dude, they're already like defensive.
Right. It's not worth saying anything.
Because they're just not worth it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
a little hot. But
I understand. It's wasted breath. They are already upset. They are either going to be the same amount upset or more upset. They're never going to be less upset.
Right. It's like, imagine you're setting up to putt at the Memorial,
right?
And it's a crowded course, and there's a group of kids that are just walking by, and they're chatting with one another, and you step up to your putt and you miss, and there's two possible things that you could say to me if you walk by me. You could say, dang, it's like, those stupid kids, like why why the heck can't they tell that we got a tournament going on? Or B, that's A, or B, you can come up to me and say, dang it, I should have waited for those kids to walk by and out of earshot.
Right.
I'm going to engage with B a lot sooner than I will engage with A.
Right. Yeah, because it takes the onus is on you. You made the decision to putt, even with external circumstances happening.
And so if we kind of translate that into like baskets and spit outs, and someone comes up to me and says like, dude, F these Mach 3s. I putt and all my putts, like I don't know if they're going to stick or not, or chain stars or whatever. It's like I putt and I'm just like hoping that they'll stay. It's, that I'm have a hard time connecting with, because the Mach 3, the chain star, the whatever other basket is an inanimate object. It doesn't have thoughts. It doesn't process, it won't change. It will not change.
I disagree.
But what will change is us. We are humans.
Sure.
We have free will. We can change. We have like control over the inanimate object, the Frisbee that we're going to throw into those chains. So
I want to come back to Mach 3s, but I want to hear from Anthony and Danny real quick.
Okay.
How do y'all talk to people on your card?
Go for it, Danny.
I talk to them in Portuguese.
One of the ways that
that the answer you're looking for? That's what us not very competitive people do. We talk to each other in different languages.
Go ahead, Danny.
One of the ways that
There you go.
Okay,
No, wait, hang on.
Please go.
Okay. One of the ways that I try and snap myself out of being negative, if I'm like hitting trees, missing putts, stuff like that, is I'll try and instantly say something positive. So it tends to be, it can be annoying to my other card mates if they're frustrated, they threw a bad shot and they want to be mad about it, but I say, well, you got the angle right, or something like that. That's what I try to do. I instantly try and say something positive.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, until you hit the first available, and I'm like, that was a good idea.
You really tried.
You threw it hard. That's like what Nate Sexton said on the pro panel. He was like, I just set small goals for myself if I'm playing terrible. Like if I smoke a tree, I'm like, I got to act upset, but I'm like, yeah, I hit that tree hard. That was really funny.
that was a great piece of advice.
I loved that. Yeah, I gotta talk to him more about mental game stuff at some point. Anyway, Anthony,
what I really appreciated that you said is not trying to I don't know, coach your card mates or something like that. That's one thing that really bugs me. Is if I at one of the more recent tournaments that I played, I banded a 10-footer, like the worst missed putt I've ever had, like just awful. And so I'm sitting on the next bench, just head in my hands, and the guy walks up like, "I just shake it off, man. You got it." I didn't ask you.
I clearly don't.
Anybody see what I did wrong back there?
This is a solo experience. I don't need input here.
It's like, oh, dang it, you're right. I should have just. That's
it. I just got to take my time.
Yeah, I should have shook it off like 5 minutes ago.
That's great. Taking time is the thing.
Great.
Even though I took like 28 seconds on the putt, I should have just taken my time.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Fine.
2 extras.
Anthony, what do you do?
I'm pretty similar. Like my biggest thing is, at least in this group, I am probably the least competitive person. Where it's like my goal going into the tournament is like, I want to have fun. If I'm in a position to win, awesome. If I'm on lead card, awesome. If I'm playing well, awesome. But like, even if I'm playing terribly, I want to at least enjoy myself while I'm here. And so like I try and get along with everyone on my card. You asked if it's different, if it's someone that like I know personally or I'm friends with. Then yeah, definitely I would be a little bit more confrontational isn't the right word. But like if someone were to throw a shot and nick a tree in 5, like, oh, that's so unlucky. Like, oh, sorry, man. But if it was a buddy of mine or something, then maybe you could go a little more in depth and be like, hey, maybe throw your Explorer instead of your Maverick because it kind of flipped over on you. Maybe get it to go straight. Something, something where if you have that personal relationship with the person, then yeah, maybe a little bit more advice isn't. Yeah, it's not the right word.
If they look to you for it, maybe though.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, like if somebody's going to be like, oh, that's so unlucky, I get the worst spits. Like, look, man, we're all playing on the same baskets.
Yeah.
Like,
or you can just you can just sympathize, like, yeah, that sucks, dude. There's not much else to say about it, really.
Yeah, so just kind of brush it off.
Sucks to suck.
So
that works too.
My perspective comes from filming and doing photography for a lot of pros, and I often joke around about it, but it's really cool that because of what I do, I can be near the top cards and get away with it because I have my camera and I can be
team.
Yeah, mid team.
Everyone shut up and let Bobby talk.
Sorry.
That's okay. Forgot what I was going to say. No. So my perspective is I've been around some of the top people that will say the same things we do. Is like, oh man, I'm so unlucky or whatnot. And I think in my mind, I'll look at it and go, no, you that was not a good throw or whatnot. My thing is when I've been following someone for quite some time and I'm on the 5th or 6th hole, and then they really start blaming their luck on what's happening. Like, I can't catch a break. This day is whatever. And it's obviously I'm on one level. I feel you. I understand. Some days you just feel like nothing can go right. But I think, and maybe they know this, but it's not something you want to admit. It's just that maybe that 1 or 2 times that you were off now has thrown you off completely.
Yeah.
Like your timing's off, or you're tired, or something else is going on that's affecting your play. And I want to say,
fear of,
exactly. I want to say you're not having a quote unquote bad day or an unlucky day, or you can't catch a break. It's just that you can't seem to make things work right, and that's consistently happening where you can't make things work right.
Yeah, that's
what Bobby's trying to say is you suck.
That's the hardest thing about all of this, though, is that like there isn't a such thing. If you really want to get into it, and we definitely don't have time to, but if you want to get into it, there isn't a such thing as playing bad. Before you throw your next shot, you're not playing bad. Like, playing bad is a mindset. You have thrown bad shots, but that doesn't affect your ability, your physical ability at least, to throw the next shot. You have the identical physical ability that you had last hole, and the hole before, and the hole before, and that you've probably had for a couple of years to throw a good shot. So when somebody says, I'm playing bad, no, you've just made a lot of mistakes in a row, right? That's why you have to be able to turn that around.
And that's why you always get the same advice from a lot of the top performers, is that the most important play is the very next play, or the play you're in, the throw you're in, the hole you're at. Right. That is the most important hole. Once that one's over, the most important hole is now the next hole that you now are on.
Yeah, the next throw even. Because if you make it into one hole, like I've thrown 2 terrible shots on one hole and 1 really good shot and saved a par. And like if I'd have just let the average of that hole take over, then I would have said that's a bad hole. But man, I threw at least 1 good shot. You know what I mean?
Cool.
By the way, Danny, Danny, the chat says it's post round. Shake it off. So
got him.
I'm just kidding.
Actively shaking.
Oh yes, thank you. But like this though,
it's years ago. Shake it off. Are you Bobby, still shaking? You're still shaking. You've been shaking ever since.
Okay. I would say, like, in response to like the person who's saying I can't catch a break today.
Yeah.
Well, usually the reasons why is because the fear of bad results has taken over.
Right.
The fear of bad results.
Sure.
Because they say they can't catch a break because it's possible that they're visualizing the ideal result, but the fear is taking over and holding them back from that ideal result.
Yeah. So they're saying don't hit a tree, but then that's all your brain can think about is hit a tree. Like,
right. It's like,
and part of it,
I'm going to throw dead straight 300 feet because it's a 301 foot hole and I want that 1 footer.
Right.
So I'm going to throw dead straight 300 feet, but I'm afraid of that tree and coming up 30 short. And here we go. And then it's like you're just throwing scared.
And I believe what plays a part is human nature is to affirm negatives, and your perspective changes to affirm the negative. In other words, if there's a certain person that you don't like or don't quite get along with, there are a lot of times you unconsciously and unconsciously pick up on things that affirms why you don't like that person, and
It's confirmation bias.
And that's
confirmation bias. Yeah,
and a lot of that is because our parents tell us to stop crying, stop crying. It's negative reinforcement.
Right.
It's
cheer up is better than stop crying.
I've been crying since I was a kid, so.
And he still does every day.
Yeah, it's at night.
All right,
But
so Bobby, stop crying. Danny, shake it off.
As soon as we sign off, Bobby just. I tried my best today.
I never got that bicycle.
But if young children and especially young disc golfers experience positive reinforcement more than negative reinforcement,
yes,
then there's a very good chance that they're going to become not only healthy adults but professional and better disc golfers.
Dang.
Yeah, but what if you overdo the positive reinforcement?
And then they're the people who go onto American Idol and think they can sing, and they absolutely can't.
Exactly.
Think about it.
You still have to be real with your kids and with now we're getting into parenting advice. You've got to be real with people because
we have 1 minute left before we shut the episode off.
American Idol is full of people that think they are delusional that they have the talent for singing, and it's partly because their parents give them way too much positive reinforcement. Also, too many trophies, too many awards. If everybody's special, then no one is special.
So think about the alternative when it comes to American Idol. Would you rather have, the alternative to what was his name? William
Hung?
William Hung, or wasn't it? Yeah.
The alternative is the songbird of our generation who is told that they, can't sing. And then we never get to hear the most beautiful voice we've ever heard.
Well, I didn't say to go the
Northern Lights.
Of course. I would say you need to focus on positive reinforcement with a bent toward realism, right? So, you need to be able to tell a child or a person, you are not...
Full circle. That's why there's no such thing as bad luck. Only bad shots.
Call me surrealism from now on. I am surrealism. In the stream.
Q is Y.
In the stream.
All right. Well, that's plenty of talk. Thank you, AJ, for hanging out with us. Thank you, YouTube board, for hanging out with us as well. And AJ, when are you going to get back on the road? Do you have any plans or what's going on there?
Well, yeah, my car is in the shop.
Yep.
So it's going to be about a week before that's good to go. And then I'll be heading back to California in a week or so. And then I think the first tournament back on the schedule is going to be the Challenge at Goat Hill in the middle of June.
Nice.
And that'll kick off the little mini West Coast swing, Goat Hill down in Oceanside, and then San Francisco Open, and then Portland Open.
Dude,
so that'll be end of June into July.
Nice. Here's a winner from the chat. Jerome said talking about William Hung. He said it's Le Hung. Le Hung. William Le Hung
is on. Cool. All right, we're gonna go. Thanks, AJ. Thanks, Anthony. Danny. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Please end it on that. Press it. Press it.
It's even better.